problem. A lot of things. But here, the deal with the Panthers, man. Remember when we were doing #NeverJets back in the Geno days at the NFL?
Yeah, 100%.
We're back. We're like back on that.
Jeez, Fields looks terrible.
Look at the release.
There's your separation.
Great route.
Stutter and go. Gets by clean.
That is unbelievable.
May be the greatest catch I've ever seen.
Let's talk about the teams that make you kind of sort of do what I'm doing, which is like when you think about them, you're like, oh God, I don't know if I want to see this team on my screen ever again. What teams' offenses? Yeah, are we done with? Are we done? Are we donezos with Carolina? Are we donezos because Sam Darnold sucks again?
Well, here's the deal, man. Sucks again. He's always sucked. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. A lot of things, but here the deal with the Panthers, man. And this is what I'm saying about Matt Rule and Joe Brady. Like I said in our last segment, why are the Panthers pissed? Like, okay, so they come in like, and this looks like a total teardown. You know, Matt Rule gets a 7-year deal. It's like, all right, this is a rebuild, long-term thing. But then they go get Teddy Bridgewater to be like competent, right? You know, to be competitive. And then they get pissed at Teddy Bridgewater for being Teddy Bridgewater. And now suddenly it's like, okay, we got to get anything else, anything other than Teddy. They want to do the Deshaun Watson thing. Hell, by the time this video is up, they might have traded for Deshaun Watson. That might be what happens.
Right.
That whole legal situation comes down. So then they trade for Sam Darnold. Now, this far into the season, they're freaking benching Sam Darnold, which is fine. But like, Sam Darnold is just being Sam Darnold, and you put him in this position. You put Sam Darnold in this position. Look at the offensive line that they built, James. That is a cast of just weird, like vagabond veterans. Like Cam Irving is their starting left tackle. It's not as if they have – no, that's not good. It's not as if they have like steady veterans or like young improving guys that are suddenly going to get better. This offensive line was always going to be a problem. And like nobody hits the oh shit button faster than Sam Darnold. It's like as soon like pressure's there, he's going to be going haywire, man. But I want to know what's good about this team other than DJ Moore. What's good about it?
Listen, man, I understand the frustration with the coaching staff. But you know what? I actually don't think they've done I don't know, like they had a rental in Teddy Bridgewater, and I love the fact that they didn't commit to him. They have a rental with Sam Darnold. They're not committed to him. You know, it's like they're getting by with what?
They guaranteed his $8 million next year. They guaranteed him $18 million.
Guy, dude, look at the NFL. You think $8 million for a backup quarterback is a lot?
18 million.
18. Well, okay. Well, now we've gone into next level. Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good. In what has supposed to have been rebuilding years, I think they're further along than I think most teams in rebuild mode are. So I don't know. Like, I agree with you. Their offensive line stinks. They and their pass catchers right now, that without Curtis Samuel, is a little bit of a mixed bag. Robbie Anderson has not developed whatsoever. And Terrace Marshall has kind of sort of been evaporated from this offense. Yeah. So I don't know. Like, and listen, I think we all agree too. Like we like Terrace Marshall, do we not? So like, let's give the guy a little bit of a time to kind of sort of develop here. I think, look, the bottom line is this. I think if they get a young developing arm, they'll be A-okay. I like the offense overall. I like the play calling. I like the play design, the offensive design overall in Carolina. They don't have the horses, man. They just don't have the horses. I'm willing to kind of sort of give them some time from a real life perspective. From a fantasy perspective, okay, different story.
It's over.
It's over. It might be over. So I'm not exactly sure what to think because, I don't know. Let me ask you about Chuba. Because, like, I want to like Chuba, and he's getting all the work. You're just giving me the no, it's okay. All right. He's not it. He ain't it.
He's not even as good as, like, Mike Davis last year, man. And, like, Mike Davis, they're not – he's not it. If they're going to be a bad team, he's not it because he's not that good in the passing game, which is the weird part of that. Like he can't be
very weird, even
like what Mike Davis was for them last year. You have a quarterback who could send the offense into the shitter at any possible moment. Like, and that's where you're at with the running back who's already not that good behind a bad offensive line. And DJ Moore, like, I'm bringing expectations slightly down on DJ Moore. I still think he's like a top 15 fantasy receiver, but it's like, to me, just give me DJ Moore in this offense and nothing else from a
and that's it.
perspective.
DJ Moore right now is top 5 in targets. Well, I should say this. He coming into this week, he was top 5 in targets and he was top 3 in air yards. And it is extremely rare.
He's still second in the NFL in targets, tied with Devontae Adams with 70.
Okay, so there you go. And I'm assuming still top 5 in air yards. So again, very rare to see a wide receiver with top 5 targets and top 5 air yards not finish as a top 10 fantasy wide receiver. It's very rare. Other than the Panthers, are you basically going, all right, I'm done with these guys?
All right, well, it's easy one is the Jets. I mean, they just traded for Joe Flacco like an hour ago. Let me ask. Well, okay. The Jets, no, actually, for the Jets' perspective, it's like you should have had somebody like Joe Flacco there all along. Why the hell did they not have any experience behind or around Zach Wilson? That made no sense to me from the jump. Like, you got to throw Mike White in there now that Zach Wilson's hurt. Like,
who in the hell is Mike White?
Well,
like,
the Jets don't want to find out
White?
Anymore about Mike White because so they're trading for Joe Flacco, who was on the roster last year. And that brings me to my second question about, and I'm not going to spend too long on this because we're going to blaze through the Jets. Like, it's pretty easy. Like, remember when we were doing #NeverJets back in the Geno days at the NFL?
Yeah, 100%.
We're back. We're like back on that, baby. We're back to #NeverJets. The real ones will remember that bit. I mean, there's no one on, like, Michael Carter's mildly interesting that he took like a 60% route per drop back rate last week coming out of the bye. So he's like maybe an RB3. And then, Corey Davis. I think Corey Davis is
flex.
High key boom bust flex. And then like they're kind of trying to get Elijah Moore going, but just forget it, man. I mean, Joe Flacco back there too, behind that offensive line. Oh my God. No,
I don't even, if you're the Jets, why are you even bringing back Joe? Who cares? Like, first of all, it's not like, I mean, Mike White had a couple interceptions, but it's like, okay, yeah. So did, Zach Wilson had 5 interceptions in this matchup before. It's like, okay, well, what are we talking about here? Who cares? Just develop these guys. And it's not like Joe Flacco gives you more wins, is what I'm saying. Right. This is probably the worst offense in the NFL. In my opinion, I look at the landscape. I don't see another offense that's this bad. And again, I think Robert Saleh has the defense playing way above their weight, which is great.
He's pissed.
But I mean, again, the offense is just so bad. The offense here is way worse than in Detroit. Like, I'd rather have Detroit's offense than New York's offense. The New York's offense stinks. They're so bad. Yeah. I want no piece of this New York offense at all.
They're kind of an interesting segue here to the next team because, I almost think it was weird that the Jets just went in and were like, Zach Wilson is our week 1 starter, like, period. Mm-hmm. We're not even going to give not even going to have a veteran here to compete. I mean, the freaking Jaguars had a fake quarterback competition with Gardner Minshew, who is now the Eagles backup to Joe Flacco's. Everything is connected. Everything is connected. There was no even competition for Zach Wilson. Like, if he wasn't ready to, okay, we got a veteran we can throw out there. The Bears, my next team here that I'm done with, they did the opposite thing where they wouldn't even allow the idea of a quarterback competition to the point that, like, Justin Fields, he's had 6 weeks worth of practices with the first team. I will rail on this every single week. The problem here is that everything is a problem in Chicago. And I don't think this was the week, if anything was going to happen for Allen Robinson or Darnell Mooney, this was supposed to be the week. No, against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I mean, the offensive line, their right tackle, who shouldn't even be the starter, gets popped with the COVID thing, so he didn't play a lot. And then it's your 4th string offensive tackle. They're already a mess on the left side. They're going against Shaq Barrett and JPP. Justin Fields has got no shot. Strangely enough, they still ran the ball with Khalil Herbert and
really well.
Yeah, and I think Herbert is still interesting. I don't think we can be totally done with Khalil Herbert or David Montgomery when he gets back because they want to run the ball. And they get the 49ers this week. The 49ers ranked 28th in explosive rushing plays allowed going into Sunday Night Football against Jonathan Taylor. Let me tell you what, Jonathan Taylor is going to bump that ranking down a little more because he ripped off so many explosive runs. So I think you can still play Khalil Herbert as long as David Montgomery is out. But the pass catchers, Justin Fields in a 2 quarterback league, forget it. You can't play these guys, man, because Matt Nagy is just, it's a complete clown show there. Just a nightmare there. And like Allen Robinson, I think doesn't look completely healthy. He's dealing with an injury. I still think like he's out there getting open, but like not winning contested passes because the timing is off with him and Fields. So I just don't think, and I don't think Fields is playing that well, obviously. Like that's not a hot take,
Fields.
But
jeez, Fields looks terrible. There's so many things about Fields too.
This was his worst game against the Bucs. Like, also, did you hear that? Like, apparently his first, I think it was his first interception. They told him in the headset, like, "Hey, you have 12 men on the field. Snap the ball, and like it's a free play." And he threw a pick. There was not 12 men on the field, and that was the second time that's happened to him.
Golly, God, so bad.
What the hell?
There's so many things going on in Chicago, man. One, Allen Robinson on this playing on this tag. A lot of people are kind of sort of bringing into question the effort of Allen Robinson. I think that's fair. I do think that's fair. Not saying that he's just dogging it on every play, but it's hard to say that he's giving it maximum effort on every play. I think that's fair to say. And Justin Fields is Matt Nagy. I'm not going to die on the, Matt Nagy's not the problem hill. That's a stupid hill to die on.
No.
Because it's terrible and he's terrible and the game plan sucks and, all of that, everything that you just mentioned. But that being said, Justin Fields has been playing like dog shit.
Not well.
And,
not well.
Yeah. And he's missing open guys. And then he's also taking the most random sacks. It's like, my guy.
Yeah.
Like, I know you don't want to have designed runs, and that's fine, brother. But, like, look at Russell Wilson early in his career, Kyler Murray, like, all these guys that can scoot. I do not understand what processes that Justin Fields is going through right now. And the other thing I would say about Justin Fields, too, is, bro, like, you are the leader of the offense, whether you want to be or not, and your body language stinks right now. It's so bad. And it's just like, it just is like the whole mood in Chicago is just like, it's down there, man, So it's like, I just got done saying the Jets are the worst offense in the NFL.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that, but Chicago is probably the most underperforming offense in the NFL because they have good wide receivers. Justin Fields is supposed to be a, transformative type quarterback. And man, they are bad. This offense is so bad. It's so bad to watch too, man. It's painful to watch.